Alrighty, I think everyone has just about joined us, so we can go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Juniper. I am the Senior Community Manager for the Bitverse, and I would like to welcome you to our community Q&A session. This week, I am so excited to introduce you to some of the incredibly talented artists from both Bit Heroes and Blood Vessels, which is another one of our upcoming NFT blockchain games. They are here to talk with us a little bit about their work, and we're going to be doing some exciting stuff towards the end of this session. So our plan is to go over some updates about current Bitverse community events and giveaways as we usually do. We'll then transition into answering players submitted questions that we received for the artists today, and we'll wrap things up by giving away an Ultra Gore to another lucky audience member. We're going to show off some art from Blood Vessels, and we're going to give everyone a sneak peek of Bit Heroes' newest upcoming zone. So we're doing that at the very end. So please, please, please stay with us. It'll be worth it. We're really excited. The room is going to be limited to 50 people for this particular event because we're going to be showing, the artists are going to actually be showing us some of their work. So yeah, if you manage to grab a spot, welcome. It's going to be about 30 to 45 minutes, and we will be posting the Q&A up on our YouTube channel for everyone who may not have been able to make it. All right, now before we get started, I do quickly want to mention a few things that may be of interest to the Bitverse community, and then we can get into answering some of those questions. All right, so the winners of the Bitverse Lore contest have been announced along with a brand new art contest. We are officially looking for your best Bitverse inspired creations. All forms of art are welcome and encouraged for this particular contest. You can do digital or traditional. You can draw on a piece of paper, take a picture and submit it. You can paint an oil canvas or create a digital poster. The only limitation is your imagination and the fact that it has to be Bitverse themed. Now, the great thing about this particular one, you don't have to be the next Andy Warhol to participate. We're looking for all kinds of creativity. So along with our traditional top 10 favorite art pieces, we're also selecting winners for a bunch of fun categories. So even if you feel like maybe you're not the best artist, you absolutely can still win. We have categories, I think, like funniest entry and like most cursed bit hero and things like that. So we understand that there are a bunch of people who maybe can't draw. We still wanted you to have an opportunity to participate. We are also continuing to run multiple weekly social events on our Discord that we encourage everybody to join. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., we are going to be playing the Wolf Among Us together in the Bitverse Hangout channel, and another Ultra Gore is going to be given away. All you have to do to enter is join us in the Hangout channel while we play and tell us the name of your favorite fairy tale. A little bit different this time because we're doing a new game. As we play, you'll still have the chance to vote on all of the decisions we make in game. So we hope to see you there for some fun tomorrow. Quick reminder, The Wolf Among Us is a more mature kind of like mystery horror game. So again, if that's not your cup of tea, just wait until we finish streaming and you can go ahead and post your answer in the channel once all of the more intense spookiness is over. We'll accept entries until about 10 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow night. For now, oops, I got my notes almost mixed up there for a second. Sorry about that. So before we go ahead and get into answering those questions, I think it would be really great to take a moment for our guests to introduce themselves to the Bitverse community, as I think this is the first time many of us have had a chance to actually sit down with some of the amazing artists who create our games. So can all of you tell us your names, your history with Congregate, and what project you're all working on?
Hey guys, I was just saying that I'm directing art for Blood Vessels. Blood Vessels is a new NFT project from Congregate. and I've been working on it for 8 months now, I think. And it's been my first project with Congregate. Actually, I'm very new to the industry. I'm very glad to be here.
Right. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Nahuel. I am from Odaclick Studio from Argentina, and we have been working with Congregate and Bit Heroes since season 10. So I think it's 2019, something like that. I'm an artist, and I am part of a team also with Sabina.
Yeah, that's right. I've been working alongside with Noel since World Boss Nordic Dream, and well, currently working on Bit Heroes as well.
Awesome. Alrighty. So thank you so much for introducing yourselves. I think we can just go ahead and get started. We have some really cool questions that people submitted. They're a little bit more general and a little bit like talking about your guys' past and your skills. So I'm really excited to get into these. So first up, we have, how do you come up with ideas for your art?
Who wants to start? Ellie, maybe?
Yeah, sure. I mean, since this is more like a podcast, we can all talk about it. I'll show you my experiences. For me, I try not to think about it too much. I like I like to think about art as an expression, you know. So I like to express myself, and then if I like the ideas, then I can come back to them and polish them. But so to me, just anything can be an expression, you know. I can talk about anything almost, or that's how I feel. What about you?
Well, it's a very big question. I mean, there's a lot of topics to take inspiration for, but it's also true that making art it's something like stay in some kind of flow, you know, very similar on what you are also consuming art, right? So I agree with you with the thing of it doesn't matter really what, but what puts you on start doing the thing, and you know the idea maybe get around itself once you start working on it.
Yes, I
What about
think
you,
later
Sergio?
on we're gonna. Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, no problem.
I think as a team we do a lot of like inspiration mood boards, and we have a lot of taste in common, music, culture, and stuff. So we somehow brainstorm sometimes and come up with great ideas. Personally, yeah, I kind of like to mix reality with fantasy.
That's so cool. What do the inspiration mood boards usually look like? Just for my own curiosity.
Yeah. Well, they're like some kind of collage of a lot of pictures. Sometimes they don't have to be related. They're just like some kind of idea mixer, visual idea mixer.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of images that
Hmm.
brings you different ideas that you want to portray. For example, some of them can be aesthetic and can be a particular style or particular color that you want, but maybe also what do you want to portray there? If it's something spooky or if it's something uh, very festive, you know, like a party picture or people really enjoying something. I
That
think
is
that's what
genuinely
a
so
mood board.
cool.
It's some kind of guidance for what you want to do later.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And I think this next question is actually very cool. I would like to know this as well because as someone who, wasn't very good at art, were you always good at art or did you have to learn it? And I'm really hoping that someone here says that you had to learn it, so there's still hope for me.
Certainly it is.
So it's okay. So were you guys were you naturals when you were younger? Were you the kids in school that everybody was like, oh my gosh, they can draw so well? Or was it something that took more time to learn as a skill?
Well, for me, it was the kid that was always drawing, but never really did it well. You know, I was just enjoying to do it, but I didn't have a real skill on it. I didn't gain the skill until I was much older. Something like 28 years, I started studying, and then I start improving on what I ask and what I do. Definitely, if you study something, you will get better. That's for sure. It's one of the bonus that comes with that. Uh, but I think it's something that everyone that wants to put some time on it can develop a serious set of skills. There's basic and technical stuff that everyone can practice.
There are some people in chat who are saying that tracing is either an indicator that you're bad at art or that you shouldn't do it. And I think that's a really interesting comment. Do you guys agree with that?
I don't.
I
think
think
tracing is fine.
yeah. Tracing can be good for certain stuff when you're practicing new stuff. Maybe not for doing actual work, but when you're trying to practice something, anything is good for that. Because also coping objects around you or photography as a way of practice. Sorry, I was trying to say that just don't worry. Whenever you want to practice something, just do it, and you'll get better. It doesn't matter if you're tracing at the start, and then start doing stuff by your own. That was that was.
Yeah, art it's something that should be enjoyed, you know. So really, there's no bad practice on when you are practicing something to get better. So I think everything is fine with tracing or copying stuff. The only rules are those that Sabina said. Someone, it's if you're doing a work and you have to do something else, don't steal from another artist. Just that.
No, but I agree so much with you. I think like the whole process of learning, it's very important to trace even textures and because then you're able to compare yourself with an actual image and what are you actually pursuing on that drawing or that piece of art you're trying to do. I think it's very very good
Right.
exercise.
Right. There's something about copying things that are done right that your subliminal mind starts to incorporate good design and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I hadn't even considered that. How cool.
Yeah, that's why it takes a lot of time to get better on art. But it's like a pile of bricks, you know, one after the other, and until you get the wall built.
I feel like
And
that's a
also
really
it's
Then
good
you can
segue
put a roof.
into the.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No. Go ahead. You're good.
No. It was just that. You put a brick after the other, then you get a wall, and then you can put a roof on it, and nice art is your house.
Aw, I love that. That's actually great. Speaking of art being your house, the next question asks, how do I become a professional artist?
A lot
No
of
pressure,
practice,
guys. Whoever wants to go first.
patience. Yeah, it's like the most hated answer of all, but it's practice. A lot of practice for me. Also a bit of self-confidence because you have to show your work and get some feedback from other artists. And I think feedback is really important because that's when you know what to improve. And somewhere along that way you become a professional, and I think that's
I think
somehow it. Yeah.
I really agree with you. I think practice will definitely improve your skills, but you know, like to me, also being able to actually get paid for being an artist, I think it's also about, like you said, like doing a lot of things. So then you learn which one you are comfortable with, and then you kind of like create a style, or you can actually, you know, start growing into what you want. So after you practice a lot, you have to being able to connect with people. You know, you have to be able to to create spectators around you for being able to convert that into money. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Getting paid, it's a very big testimony that you are doing it way fine, and that you are at least, I think, getting paid. You maybe not yet a professional, but you can still get work to do if you know how to solve problems that other ones have. Because in our case, I think it's kind of like a service. You need to connect with another people, with someone that needs you to use your skills and do something around. And it's, I think you also became a professional, not just when you can do that for someone that, you know, has a something like a producer that have an idea for a game, and then you do a drawing and a character for that. But also when you understand that gaming, it's something that depends a lot on communities, because you have the players, but also the studio has many roles, many people working there, and everyone has a need that it's interconnected with each other. So you, as an artist, maybe need to know what the 3D modelers need, also the developers, or maybe the game designers need, and you need to work for them too, you know?
Yes, I agree.
So, again, we keep doing these really awesome segues. So, and this next one is kind of two questions. So, what did you do, or I'm sorry, what did you need to do to get your job in the gaming industry? I've always wanted to be a concept artist, but I can't figure out how to get my foot in the door.
Well, I personally started with game jams. I don't know if you guys know about those kind of events. Um,
Game jams, as in the like the sort of like hackathon style, or like the where you make like a game in a really short period of time and then
yeah,
present it, that game jam.
yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Then yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so that's a really great way to start the game industry because you'll get some functional game to show as part of your portfolio, and also for me, I think it was meeting great friends and people at game conferences, uh, obviously with a portfolio also, and that could be also a great way to get into the industry, go to conferences, and show your work.
I think making connection with other person is the really the best advice to do that.
That's a really great call
Yes.
out. I think that can probably be said for a lot of
For
different job types in the gaming industry. I've noticed that making friends and getting to know people and having those doors open can be the difference between getting a job and not getting a job. So I'm not surprised to hear that it is the same for art too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, show your stuff. It's also a lot of a lot. It's very important. You need a good set of skills to be kind of recognized. Because the industry has a lot of the
Yeah, like
particular needs, because you need to be technically able to do an image with uh, colors properly balanced and good design and all that. That's fine. You can learn that by your own. But you need to show that first because you need people to get it noticed. But you need to see other people. The other people in gaming industry, it's very important.
yeah, that and the skill set, both important.
I mean,
Awesome.
especially right now that you have internet, try to connect with people before was way harder. Like doing a business card for your own, traveling to another places. You can connect with people now, like just from your couch. It's amazing. Great moment
Isn't
to be
that
an
the
artist.
best? That's the one, like the best thing about work currently is our ability to do it from home. I'm that person. I love working from home, from my couch, anywhere that is not being cramped in a building, with like an
Right.
hour and a half long California commute. I love it. All right. So, do you guys ever have to draw things that you don't like?
All the time.
Would you tell us a little bit, like maybe some of what's like your least favorite thing to draw?
It's just, to me, it's very personal, but I mean, I love drawing and I would do it just for fun always. But I'm Mexican. I live in Mexico and I have a very large family, and I'm the only graphic artist for my family. So I always get asked to do the most ridiculous things, just the most ridiculous invites for quinceañera parties or just whatever. So that I don't like that too much.
Can be
Yeah, I
difficult.
used
I know. I
to
know.
I used to hate drawing hands like everybody. Like learning new skills always has been a bit challenging, but I don't know. I can't recall right now if I don't like drawing something.
I It's not like I hate it, but I mean, there's things that at first glance or at first sight you don't like it. Sometimes that's because you don't know how to approach it. Sometimes it's interesting to face that thing that you don't like, to kind of study it and maybe get your way around it, get out of your comfort zone and maybe learn something. But everyone also has, I think, it has his limits. For me, when we work on Bit Heroes, many of the tile sets I have to do it myself, and they have a lot of technical limits around them, around size and how you can portray them, and that makes them very heavy. It's not like I don't like them, but certainly it's pretty different than drawing a character which has a face. It can be funny.
Okay, so I have a hypothetical for you all. So, in this hypothetical, you only get to pick one. Do you prefer digital art or physical art?
I go with digital.
Yeah, same here. You can do so much with it.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Especially if it's for working, it'll take you wherever you want to go.
Right. Doesn't weight anything. I mean, the weight of your computer, but I used to have piles of old drawings in the library, and I don't carry them anymore.
Yeah.
They're just in boxes. But yeah,
More
digital is
eco-friendly.
amazing. Right. Digital is great. You can mix a lot of techniques and softwares. There's always new things coming from that make the things easier and sometimes take them to unexpected places.
Awesome. So, another question, kind of veering a little bit to talk more about the work that you guys are currently doing. So, this question is, how do you feel about working on NFTs? Aren't NFTs bad for artists?
I personally don't think they are bad for artists. In fact, quite the opposite, on my opinion. Mainly because I have also very close friends, other artists, and some others that they're not my friends, but they're very cool people that, they make their own stuff, they engage with the community, and used to, normally sell them stuff, and it's perfectly fine, I think. They made a decent life of that, just doing their stuff. So that's creatively, it's amazing. Not much artist can have that option. It's good that opens also that many other people can do it too.
Yeah, because NFTs are kind of like art gallery pieces. Like art galleries have always existed, but most artists couldn't participate of that world till now. So now we are able to be part of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a very, very awesome technology, new technology. It's almost like very new. So in the future, I think we're gonna find better ways to apply it to art, and then it's gonna be awesome, I think.
Mhm.
totally agree.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that, like, in general, that you guys are, that's a good, there's so many differing opinions on these subjects out there. I think I see a few people in chat pointing out that it's not so much, I think, that NFTs as a whole are bad for artists, right? It's that sometimes when it's done sketchy, yeah, it could be. And that's not okay. But that's not what we're doing in the Bitverse. That's not what we're doing with Blood Vessels. So I'm really glad to hear that from you guys. That's awesome. Moving to our next question. So this one is fun. If you guys could make art for anything, what would it be?
Mm. Here would be
Ah,
games, but also for other planets. Maybe they'll do games in other planets as well, and they'll do games there, and we'll be doing art for games there as well.
So we'll be doing them like we'll be on Mars doing.
Martian
That's
video
awesome.
games. Yeah, it sounds nice. I would like to.
Yeah, me too. Count me
Any
in.
video game.
So general consensus is off planet. Is
Right. Yeah, yeah,
what-
yeah. You can say movies or book covers. That's pretty
Okay,
much
then
all.
I have a follow-up then for this one. If you could do any brand, and this won't get you in trouble, I promise. This isn't like a plug congregate moment. If you could do like any brand at all across the planet, you could do art for them of any type, what would you do?
Right. Um, mm, Can anyone take
Promise
the
you guys are
risk?
allowed to say not congregate. You are
Okay.
allowed to.
Well, like I'm gonna see if I can answer this one. I actually come from other industry. I'm very new to video game industry, and I stopped working for my previous job because I was not very happy on brands, on how brands sometimes they behave, and or what industry you work on. And so to me, I was like, man, I need to work on something that's actually good for the world, and it has to be fun, and all that, and I got this pitch for Congregate, to work with Congregate, and it worked. So to me, if you asked me this question 8 months ago, I would say video game company. Now I'm very glad that I come from one.
Nice.
Nice.
Graphic design can be very harsh. You're right.
Yeah,
Good for the change.
it was very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure for a brand, but I can tell you a name of one guy that comes to my mind right now. It's called Joel Hensley, and it's the guy that designed Titanfall and that stuff. I know now works on Call of Duty or something like that, but I love the aesthetics that he used to direct. You know, that's pretty much what I like.
Yeah, here
What about you,
I've
Sabina?
always liked graphic adventures as well as some other games. Well, I like every kind of game, I think, but it would be so cool to work also in some graphic adventure, even if I tell maybe you guys from Congregate can make one. I don't know. But
Open for jobs. Yeah.
yeah, open. But yeah, I also like to work on some um uh tiny game projects on weekends. So nothing nothing fancy. I just like games.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. So, what would you say inspires your art?
Mm, that's a tricky question. uh,
Are there any particular things you look to? I know we mentioned we were talking about the mood boards earlier, but is there
oh yeah,
anything maybe more persistent in your life that you draw inspiration from?
yeah. Maybe this is some sort of philosophical answer from me, but I took it like what put you every day to do the same work again, right? Because it's something like you need to get inspiration every day from time to time, right? I think my friends, uh, mainly because with my friends I'm like that inner child that is the same that it's drawing again. So I think of them a lot on things that I already live. Because I can tell you also maybe books or things like that, but mainly they remember me many times stuff that I lived with others around me, and I think remember that stuff. It's what give me inspiration to try to do new stuffs and do it better.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's
I think friends and being surrounded with people, and also other artists. I like to check out what other people is doing, not only in this industry but other things. And inspire from that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's very true. Like you almost can create art from almost anything. And everything we consume, like books and even movies and nature,
Yeah,
especially,
exactly.
and
Animals.
also sports. Like I happen to participate in medieval combat sports sometimes, and I cannot get ideas from there sometimes.
We actually have a question here about you were mentioning nature, and one of the questions here is if there is a place, like anywhere that you consistently go to, it could be virtual, but more in person to like spark your creativity. Like for me, I'm very much a like go get lost in the woods sort of person. But what about oh, what sort of places do you like to go to for inspiration?
I
Oh, I wish
agree
we
with
had
you.
woods here.
Yeah.
We're all just gonna
Yeah.
go get lost in the woods.
Yeah.
For a while. For a little while.
Yeah,
I
to me,
don't have
like
a. Sorry.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Pali.
To me, quiet places. I was gonna say, I like to be in quiet areas for being able to think and clear my mind.
Right. I love
Yeah.
mountains and woods. That's
Mhm.
really amazing. And I live in a big city, so I mostly go to my yard, at the bottom of the house where I live, and spend some time around the plants, kind of like that, and with my cats. That is a way refresher.
Yeah, I feel like it's really important to just go outside and like reconnect sometimes, especially if you're working as a creative. I like this next question. How is your day going, everyone?
Mine's pretty good.
Yeah, nice
Me
hearing.
too.
Thanks
Going
for the
very
question.
fast.
Just waiting for the Mexican house to open and buy some food for dinner.
Nice.
That sounds awesome. I promised that I would have a fun question for everyone. This is going to be our last one. Then we're going to move into our the show and tell part of this. So, the fun icebreaker question we have this week is: everybody here familiar with Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
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 Yes? Okay, cool. All right. So in The Lord of the Rings, would you be an elf, a hobbit, a human, or a dwarf? And why?
Wow.
Oh, I
I
already
know.
know
I
my
told you
question.
I was going to throw one.
I
Feelings.
already know. I kind of want to be an elf, so I had infinite lifetime to draw and get better.
That's probably the best answer.
Elves
Infinite
had,
time to get good at art.
yeah, they have a lot of superpowers. Elves are
Also, they're
very
so
OP.
yeah.
The dwarves they're very stout. They have that going
Yeah,
for them.
kind of. I love dwarfs. I think that I'm more like a dwarf. I have more spirit closer to them. So I will choose a dwarf. I love to play a character when I used to play role games when I was younger, and one of the dwarves was my favorite. So I choose dwarves.
So one dwarf, one elf.
I think I'll go with elf too. They're very, very, very cool creatures.
That's
Well done.
fair. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to beat them as far as coolness goes. They're pretty
Yeah.
I feel like they're like a little bit OP as far as classes in that book go. But okay, so we got two elves and a dwarf. I'm
Sounds
gonna
like
be
a sitcom.
Unless you can be Gandalf, always be Gandalf.
I would literally, okay, so I'm very tall. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually pretty tall. I'm like 6 foot tall. So that part doesn't quite fit, but everything else does. I would probably be a hobbit.
Nice.
Just because they're so friendly and they're
Yeah.
so friendly and chill. And as much as I want to say I would be an elf, I'm not that graceful. Like I'm not I'm not that beautiful and graceful and like I'm the awkward one who like runs into walls all the time and like I can cook really good. But yes, I am two hobbits stacked on top of each other, functionally as a living thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into some show and tell for Blood Vessels first, and then we're going to wrap it up with the zone sneak peek. So, Pally, did you want to share your screen and maybe show us some stuff?
Yeah, sure. I did a little bit of slides presentation. Sorry, I forgot the word. Slideshow. Yeah, I did a little bit of a slideshow for you guys to showcase the process on how we created the vampires for Blood Vessels.
That sounds awesome. So our community is pretty new to the Blood Vessels project. So even if you could explain like a little bit, that would be really probably helpful for a lot of people here too.
Yeah, definitely. Blood Vessels is an open world game uh, with some RPG elements. We play it on Discord. It's based on Chicago in the 19th century, and it's all about vampires and horror. It's very cool, actually. If you want to check it out, you should join our Discord or visit our website, which is bloodvessels.io, and out more. We have different vampires, and we have different ways to play. So pretty cool. Can you guys see my screen?
We can. It's sitting on a screen that says Blood Vessels concept art right now.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of the concept art we had for the vampires. So as we said, these vampires lived in Chicago, and then we were trying to create, an appealing vampires for NFT project, which is very important to have unique art style. So these are the concepts that we explored at the beginning. But then, we realized we actually needed rigs and we started complicated things a little more. But we needed art to match the awesome narrative that the game is about. So we actually took a little while to come up with these vampires. We shifted styles. We tried different rigs. We did everything we could to come up with these very cool characters. So all the game is character driven. So to play it, you need to own one of these NFTs. So this is, for example, the rig exploration. As you can see, we checked out other projects to see how they were doing it and why. This is very important because you work with different players and different pieces, and they should all match and they should all look good. So here we were searching for the right one. Since, for example, this front rig was very limiting us into depth and having really cool effects. So we decided to go for this 3/4 angle so we can switch between items and we could add hands and those things. Then we found our correct ray. And we have to line it up like this because we currently have four types of vampires. We have the apex and the hybrids, and then within those two we have male and female. And those last two, they have to share a lot of traits. We have over 10 traits to own in these NFTs. So they have to share these traits. So this rig was very, very important to us. It had to match the two characters and then being able to transform into hybrids. So once we had the rig, we had the bodies. Once we locked the bodies, we started adding some decor, some costumes, and trying different things. we saw these as paper dolls. So we were trying to create these assets for our characters to match each other and look good, But then we had these first NFTs that we were not sure that we really liked. They were very colorful, and a little bit childish. So they didn't really match the narrative. We needed a little bit more color. So we decided to change the art style, and we brought new references. We worked with a team of artists that they're really awesome. They did a great job nailing all these references into this art project. And so even though, we were bringing in new ideas and still changing styles and making it a little bit more spooky, we still didn't have the right style. So we went ahead and we took actually a little over 1 month or something to pick the right style we wanted. We tried different things, and then we got to this, that we were feeling more comfortable with this image because it made reference also to the time period. It's looking very, very well done, and all the costumes and everything was. We looked for better references, so we had more confidence in this style. And then when we looked the style, then we brought up all the ethnicities and body types. We went through all the skin tones as possible as we could, because all these layers have to. So this is the same technique they used for the eyes, for example, for the face features, and they all can be exchanged with bodies. So they all have to look good on all bodies. And then after that, we had these simple vampires, which are the apex. And then we tweaked some values on hue values and components and backgrounds, so we could create more drama around them. We started playing with hairstyles and all these halos and then once we got the apex, which are the more simple vampires, we needed to change to the hybrids. These hybrids they suffer from these mutations, and they're a little bit more gory looking. So apart from parting from these apex, we need to rough them up a little bit so we could create all these hybrids. And for that, we needed to go deeper into the rigs and create more safe areas and more rigs for these items and these assets to match and look good. And then after we looked that, we started just blue lining and approving all these. We literally had over 200 traits to draw and approve in a very short time period. So it was very express work. And so even after that finished, we still had to put them all together. That's where the NFT technology comes in. And so with the engineers, we basically had to do this directory and create some trait values for your NFT to have. And then you put it on like a blender, and then it mixes all and comes up with these characters. And even then we had bloopers. We had, like, for example, this one's missing eyes. These ones had wrong nose. We still had to figure out some of these issues with the engineers. So they helped a lot on accomplishing these vampires. These are done sets. These are the apex vampires. They are not as gory or mutated as the other vampires. They could have also different traits, as you see. Our male one is just a single character, and this female one, she has decor on the front, she has decor on the back, she has texture instead of color background, and all these adds rarity to your NFT. And then these guys are the hybrids, and they suffer from these mutations, which are very, very cool. to check out more of the narrative, you should join our Discord. And I think that's a quick chat about our
That was
vampires.
amazing, Pelly. Thank you so much. The vampires look so cool. This is a project that is actually live. You guys, everyone in the audience can check out the Discord for this particular game. Blood Vessels is in the blockchain side of things with the Bitverse. So please check out their Discord. From what I understand, it's an amazing, very cool, like Discord specific experience. The art is looking incredible. Thank you so much, Pelly, for taking the time to show our community that and tell us a little bit more about the project. I think, Sabi, do you want to go ahead and share your screen so we can do a sneak peek of Bit Heroes' upcoming zone?
Hey, sure. Um,
I want to say beautiful art, Pelly.
yeah,
Amazing vampires,
beautiful.
man.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll be minting this year. They'll be soon up for you to guys get one.
Okay, so
Thanks.
here's one of the familiars that we're gonna be having on Zone 18. Bit
Could you
straightforward.
could you zoom in, Sabi, so it's
Yeah,
just a
sure.
little bit bigger? Yeah, on Discord it's showing up a little bit small.
Is it looking all right?
You know, if you could even go bigger than that, there you go, getting a little bit better. Perfect.
Nice. So here's a little like sneak peek about what the art process is with some of these familiars, and here's one example. This is Krablam. We're not telling you yet what type of familiar it's gonna be, but here's like it started like a very sloppy sketch, but then went to a working process phase, and then final touches from all the team. Like sometimes we some of us make the sketches and then start working on them, and one of our colleagues, Jorge, makes a little bit of extra
Polishing.
polishing. He's great, and sometimes the other way around, and it's awesome. It's a very
Yeah,
very
Jorge,
great
it's
teamwork. Yeah.
we do as
Sorry.
much as we
Yeah.
can, but we used to do maybe 5, 10 different sketches. You made a lot of sketches, Sabina, for every character. So maybe we pick one of the all 10, and then someone start polishing, and then goes to the other one, and everyone tries to bring a new fresh details to the character.
Yeah. Sometimes we get to the working process phase, and we add final polishing, or sometimes it gets to this stage and it gets to final directly, but it depends. So
Yeah.
it's a
Also,
very collaborative work.
yeah. Also, after the work in progress state, we start to also think on it from the animation perspective.
Hmm.
So everything goes starts to get design also, taking that onto account.
Yeah, we have a lot of animation layers.
My mind is like running at a million miles a minute right now, thinking about like I have a clue as to what the new zone is going to be,
You
but
have
I have a clue, but I don't know for sure. So even I'm sitting here like trying to put together what the next zone is going to be based off of these like sketches. And I love the characters name. The Crablam is absolutely adorable. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to show?
Yeah, and this is gonna be mind blowing. Because I don't know if you guys remember Astaroth.
Does that say Disasteroth? Can you zoom in? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And this is a fusion.
A
Yeah, it will be
fusion.
one of the
How
fusions of the new.
exciting.
Yeah, Astaroth. It's an amazing character. We love to play with him every time we can.
This spoon is cracking me up. That is absolutely incredible. Disasteroth. The puns are amazing in Bit Heroes. That's probably one of my favorite things about the game. Are all the amazing puns that we have. How did you guys come up with this particular piece? This one is so interesting.
Well, there is another character we're not gonna show, but when you see it, you're gonna be able to
Connect the dots.
get the reference. Yeah.
That's
That
so
will
exciting.
be a very colorful and funny new zone.
Okay, so we got some clues. So for those in the audience who are here for Bit Heroes, we have some big clues for what our next zone is going to be. Before everybody asks, in fact, I've seen a lot of people asking already. No, we can't tell you today when it's coming out. Sorry, I know. It's coming though. We're working on it. It's going to be amazing. We will keep hyping it until it's time for its official announcement because it is just looking super awesome. But unfortunately, no, today we cannot give exact dates. But hopefully, we can keep getting these super amazing sneak peeks in the future.
Be awesome.
All right, so perfect. Then, Sabi, was that everything that you guys wanted to show for the new zone?
Yeah, for now.
For now, everybody like just mental picture disaster off before he goes away. And I think we are at an hour. So this has been a longer one than we usually do. Before we end the session, we still need to give away an Ultra Gore. So what we're going to be doing this week is everyone who joined us for the Q&A is eligible to win. I actually have the name of the person. If I can hang on one second, let me see if I can announce it on stream. If not, I will post something up really, really quick after the event is over because we already have our winner. So yeah, anyways, we will be doing the giveaway probably in like by 4:15 we'll have the winner up. And that is that for this particular Q&A session. We are going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I want to thank all of our guests for taking the time out of their very busy days to sit with us. And a very sincere thank you goes out to all of you as well for hanging out with us to talk about the Bitverse and Blood Vessels. We learned about Disasteroth. We discovered who of us are elves and which of us are two hobbits stacked on top of each other. This was a great session. I'm so happy to be able to share it with everybody. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your week. And please do not forget about game night tomorrow. We'll see y'all soon.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Repair. This was very funny. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.